What's up, guys? I promised to answer those three questions in my previous post, so I'm going to try to answer them as quick as I can so I can get back to my family. First question was why I'm doing what I'm doing, opening up my gym. Second is what separates my gym from any other fitness center. And then the third would be whether or not I'm fearful or if I'm afraid of failure as a company. To answer the first question, history on me is I'm an Army brat, grew up on base, grew up in a very disciplined home, played sports throughout my life, ever since I was young, up until playing football through college. The weight room has been a very large aspect of my life for as long as I can remember. Early middle school until current, I've always found that weights is a great release for me. Stress, anger, frustration, if I'm tired, if I'm excited, I always find myself gravitating towards the weight room. It's always been that way, even before I was a competitive lifter. So that's a small piece of me. Athlete at heart, I've always been in the weight room. That's me. Now, what has drawn me to doing what I'm doing now? Well, previously I worked for the state of Arizona. I worked for the Department of Corrections. They treated me very well. I have nothing but respect for everybody there. I promoted well. A lot of very, very close friends, brothers and sisters still work there, and I've got nothing but respect for them, admiration for them. They're very underappreciated, and I think to some it was kind of a shock when I did choose to leave. So the choice had nothing to do with the department at all. Actually, as I said, they've taken very good care of me. What I realized, just kind of through my own thoughts and talking with my wife, talking with some of my close friends, with my children and with the people that I supervised, I had an underlying message that I emphasized daily, and that was just improvement. That was pursuing your dreams. If you have a passion, if you find something that you're passionate about, to go after it 100% and to not give any ground, to always take ground, to always take steps. They don't have to be big, they can be small, but do something every day to better yourself. And I realized that even though in my job I was doing well, I was performing well, and it was providing for my family, I was going to sleep as a hypocrite. I wasn't following what I felt that my passions were or what I was good at. I was just kind of settling. With my children, I didn't want that to be a message that they grew up with. So the reason I jumped into creating a company, the reason I jumped into fitness and opening a gym was, as a power lifter, I finally found a niche that I felt comfortable with. I feel a very warm reception with other powerlifters, other strength gyms, other gym owners all throughout the state, and it felt right that I finally had a piece of the pie that I could take advantage of and actually maybe find some success. So I didn't want to run a general fitness center. I'm not a yoga guy. I'm not a boot camp, Zumba. That's not me. So a general fitness center wasn't my bag. Being a power lifter, being competitive, and by no stretch of the imagination am I the best anywhere. But I am competitive enough to where the goals are within that realm to be some of the best out there. And I'm trying every day to do so. So I found a niche. I found an area in fitness, which is what I wanted. As I said, it's been a passion for a very long time. It was time to jump. So I made the jump. Second question, what separates my gym from any other gym? Well, I think a lot of that, most of it really just depends on what your current training environment is or what you're used to. If you are familiar with smaller group settings, maybe strength gyms that you've already or are a current member of, anything that has a higher emphasis on performance rather than just general memberships, then you'd probably feel right at home. That's kind of right up, that's what it is. It's a small strength gym. If you're only used to big box gyms or big commercial gyms, it may be a little different for you. Not that it's not for you, it just may be a little different. You're not going to see as many people kind of individually running around to their own devices. You're probably not going to see as many headphones. You're probably going to get to know other people. You're going to be shaking a lot of hands, knowing first names, just with the nature of it being a small area. With the type of equipment is involving team-based workouts, it might be a little bit of culture shock. So just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. As a brand, some distinguishing factors that I'd like to bring up. Not that by no stretch in the imagination am I any different than any other small strength gym, but there are a couple things that I did want to hold on to, whether it separates me or not, to help define what American Raw is. One of those is I wanted it accessible to all first responders and military. So coming from law enforcement, it's shift work. So you have shifts that end all through the hours of the night, first thing in the morning. Firemen have some 24 on, 24 off. Their schedules are very hectic and hard to keep up with. So running an 8 to 3 or 8 to 7 block-based gym, I didn't want that to be a factor in not getting these people in. So it's going to be a 24-hour gym, and the main reason for that is to make it accessible to all of the first responders. So that leads me into the second part of American Raw that is really important to me. I am very patriotic. So my family is military men and women, current and veteran, first responders, police, fire, corrections, guards, medical, EMTs. You're always going to find a home at American Raw. This isn't to separate anybody. This isn't to create a pecking order. This is just me saying thank you. And this is just me understanding that without a lot of sacrifices by an innumerous amount of people, that the opportunity for me even to talk to you on the phone right now wouldn't be possible. I respect that. I appreciate it. And that's just my way of saying thank you. If anybody wants to just disagree or they want to throw their own 2 cents, that's not even a conversation I'm willing to have. That's just the way it is. Outside of that, American Raw is a strength gym. Okay? When I chose the equipment going into the gym, I'm not going to lie, I literally wrote down a list of equipment that I felt for me would be the most beneficial in making me stronger. So I made a playground for me. I didn't pick any equipment for you. I didn't pick any equipment that would draw in group exercises. I didn't pick equipment that I felt would pull more people in because it was exciting. I only picked equipment that I wanted. So if you can imagine, there's a 2,000 square foot building, which is my own personal playground with everything that I need to be the strongest man that I can, and I'm inviting you in. That's really what it is. There's no gimmicky equipment. There's no cheap commercial anything. I just wanted to get the best of what I could. I wanted to shove it all into one spot. I wanted to be as strong as I can, and I wanted to run an open door to where people can come and hang out with me. That's literally what it is. Any other differences between my gym or any other smaller strength gyms are really just going to come down to your research based on price or location, and it's really up to you. The good thing is whether you do choose to come to American Raw or not. As I said earlier in this video, there's a lot of strength gyms, there's a lot of pockets of communities that are backing up strength sports, and everybody kind of gets along, so it's not that big of a deal. So make sure it's a good fit for you. I will be doing an open house in December. I really advise you to check it out. Get your hands on some barbells. See if it's something that fits you or your personality. If not, no hard feelings. That's why it's month to month. Head on down the road. Hopefully you find something that works. Third question, as far as whether or not I'm afraid of failure. Absolutely I am. 100% of me is very much afraid of failing. Not just as a company or as a gym, but just in general. I take that very serious, but I don't look at it in a negative way though. So for me, the idea of being fearful of failure has everything to do with me making sure I'm diligent in all of my tasks, making sure that I'm on top of all of the little things so I can culminate an effort great enough to achieve what I want. I have a long list of goals, some that are very near, some that are very far distant in the future. The only way that I know how to limit the ability of outside things distracting me from that goal is to reduce failure in a lot of little things, whether it's my diet, sleep, how I treat my children, how I treat my wife, when I go to bed. A lot of those little failures can really add up, and my fear is just being rerouted away from all of the things that I want. The driving force for me in a lot of this, whether the company, the gym itself, the facility, everything, is when I found powerlifting, I was a little lost in the gym. I went to the gym anyway. I'm still, to this day, shocked at how warm of a reception I have received in this state, in Arizona, from, and I can say it a million times, very, very competent powerlifters coaches, gyms, have been nothing but warm to me, very receptive. And some of these guys have kind of big brothered me in a way into the sport. I'm very thankful for that. Opening up this gym, it offers me an opportunity to kind of pass the buck forward. So I really am excited, not just for me and my friends and just a little goon squad of guys getting after it in the squat rack. What I'm excited about is pulling in a bunch of people that maybe are unfamiliar with powerlifting or with strength training altogether. I'm excited about classes that are going to be offered that are free with membership, just to introduce new topics of training, new styles, programming techniques, exercise techniques, different movements, variations of movements, a lot of stuff that people may be foreign to, or even it may be intimidating, and kind of getting them in the fold. I think once people realize that once they're a part of that family, whether they got an American Raw t-shirt on or a t-shirt from a gym down the road or in another town, the reception is still there and it's still warm. Everybody's just glad you're in that grind. So I'm excited for that aspect. I'm excited to meet new people, shake their hands, learn some names, and just kind of expand the Arizona fitness family. So hopefully that summed up those 3 questions. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will check up with you guys soon.